Hi, I am Wendy Yalom, and I am so grateful that you are watching this video. I have been thinking about making you this video for a couple of months now, and today is the day. I'm a brand photographer, if you're not familiar with me, and I'm also a mentor to photographers. And what inspired me to make this video is the mentoring I do. I mentor photographers privately, individually, and also in annual masterclass. And I have spoken to a lot of photographers, and the thing that they are always asking about is, what is it that clients want? Just to give you some context, I am a full-time photographer. I have a very successful photography business. I shoot 100 clients a year. My packages are premium price, and my schedule calendar is full. And that's been happening consistently now for a decade, almost 10 years. And I got to this place in my life, not with being given a golden spoon or being tapped on the shoulder by Annie Leibovitz as the next best photographer, which of course would be my dream. But I got here through my own intention and through recognizing that not only did I have to be capable and confident with my ability as a photographer, but I also needed to know how to run a successful business. And the two are completely different. I needed to learn how to market and how to sell and how to be a CFO and a CEO and a copywriter and all of that, in addition to being a creative and innovative photographer. And so it was that road of learning how to be a photographer that has led me to this day and to making you this video. I want you to have a piece of paper or a journal, or if you take notes on your laptop, and a pen if you're not working on your laptop, because I want you to take some notes about what I'm going to share. And what I'm going to share in this video is the three things that I know and I have discovered through having worked with hundreds of ideal clients over the last decade, what it is that those clients are wanting, what it is they're looking for in a photographer when they hire one, and what it is they don't ask for. And it's not your photos. So many of the clients that I work with privately have the experience of having really great confidence in their photos. I have great confidence in their photos. I only work with them because I look at their work and I see their natural ability to connect with their subjects, to frame a beautiful photo. They're creative. I see that they can create beautiful photos. But again and again, what I experience is that these photographers feel lost when it comes to getting clients. They feel lost when it comes to creating packages that are going to sell. They feel lost when it comes to knowing how to create a consistent income. They feel lost when it comes to having a client inquiry come in, and they feel lost knowing how to sell to that client. And so that's what I'm hoping this video will set you up to get started being able to do, to solve some of those problems for you. And so when I talk about these three things are not about your ability as a photographer. They're not about your creativity as a photographer. I'm going to trust that you're here watching this because you have confidence in your ability to take beautiful photos. Of course, we can always improve, and certainly when I work with clients, mentor other photographers, we will look at their images and we will I'm happy to support them and make suggestions, but they're not at the point where you're not at the point where you're have never taken a photo before and don't know if you're really going to be able to take a beautiful photo. That's not the question. That's not the problem you're trying to solve. The problem you're trying to solve is, how do I run a successful business as a photographer? And that's what I want to help you do. Okay, so is your pen ready? Is it poised? Shoot, where's mine? Oh, I've got one right here. Fabulous. A Sharpie. I love Sharpies. I want you to write down this. Number one, What all the best clients are looking for and never think to ask for is create an experience for them that is unique and irresistible. When I first started out as a photographer, I got so stuck on figuring out how to offer my packages. And everywhere I turned, it was like some version of this number of hours for this number of images. And I was a wedding photographer to begin with. So it was like this number of hours and this number of images and this kind of an album and this number of framed photos for this amount of money. And I spent so much time adjusting and readjusting my packages, wanting to get it right. And I noticed that some of the most successful photographers were charging premium prices, and although their images were beautiful, they weren't necessarily any more beautiful than mine. But at the same time, I didn't feel confident offering packages at those premium prices because I didn't really know how to sell that to a client. And so I needed to learn how to create an experience for my client that I could choose to value at whatever rate I needed to value at. If you're like most photographers today, you're still working in the number of images plus number of hours equals this cost. I want you to get out of that mindset. And here's the mindset I want you to start adopting. I want you to start adopting a mindset, the experience that you offer your clients is as valuable as the images that they get as a result of your time together. I'm going to repeat that because I think it's a writer downer. The experience that you are offering your clients is as valuable as the images they will receive out of that experience. It is a game changer when you discover that you can actually offer an experience that your clients are willing to pay for that has nothing to do with the number of hours and images included in their package. And the reason I'm impairing on you, imploring you to get out of the hours for dollars mindset is because that is a game you will never win. There will always be a photographer whose work is as beautiful as yours, willing to charge less for the same amount of product or services. And what they can't do is offer the experience that you can offer that is uniquely you. There's this awesome quote I love from Seth Godin. I'm gonna check it out here. It is, people do not buy goods and services. They buy relations, stories, and magic. And as Dan Kennedy tells us, clients don't brag to their friends about products. They brag to their friends about experiences. So what you want to do is start by creating an experience for your client on the day of your shoot that will transcend them getting a certain number of photos for hours. I'm gonna tell you a quick story and then I'm gonna share with you number two. Let's see, when was this? Maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, about 6 years ago. I was working with a client. She was a really incredibly grounded, smart, successful, spiritual author from Canada. She lived in Canada and she came to Santa Barbara for us to have a day-long photo shoot. The shoot was incredible. It was so beautiful. She was so connected and present, and her hair and makeup looked incredible, and the locations that we had were just unbelievable, and her clothing was just spot on, and the day was magic. And it ended at sunset on the beach. So you can imagine the Santa Barbara beaches. It was just beautiful. And I had just had a about, I think, like 8 photo shoots in a row between Santa Barbara and LA. And I took 4 or 5 days off right after that shoot. That was the last one. But before I took them off, I downloaded all my images and I took 4 or 5 days off, and then I went back to shooting. And when I went to edit her images, I discovered that they had been lost. Yep. I didn't act like, just one of those moments. I didn't download the cards fully. There had been an error that I didn't notice. So even though the image numbers were in there, the file numbers were in there, the files actually hadn't downloaded. And it was devastating. I thought for sure my career was over. And I had to send her an email saying I am devastated, but your images were lost. And I didn't hear back from her for a couple of days, and then I got an email back. And during this time, I really just thought, this is the end. Like, I'm gonna have to do something else. This woman spent a good deal of money to work with me. She flew to Santa Barbara, and I lost her images. It's the only time this has ever happened. And she sent me an email 3 days later, heart pounding as I opened it. And the first sentence was, I got your email and I was devastated. It felt like I had had a stillbirth. Oh. The second sentence was, but then I thought about it. And I realized I had gotten so much value from the experience of being with you that I already felt like I had received what I needed, and that the photos were going to be a bonus. Can you imagine that? I still get chills when I think about it. It was in that moment that I realized what I was offering was so special and so unique, and it transcended the photos. Like, yes, I wanted my clients to have incredible photos, but it was so much more than that. And so I took on the practice of learning how to talk about what I offer as an experience as much as it was a product and a service. And the gift of this not only was me being able to really genuinely recognize the worth of what I was offering my clients, but it allowed me to start valuing what I offer at a rate that I knew was sustainable for me. So the first thing that I know all clients are wanting, all the best clients are wanting, is for you to create an experience that transcends being a photo shoot. The second thing that all the clients I work with consistently want is they want you to, I'm gonna have you write this down, number 2, at the beginning of this video, I was telling you, and I think, tell me if you can relate to this, that you and I got into this business of photography, not because we thought, God, I really want to own my own business and run my own business. And I want to be a salesperson and a marketing director and a copywriter and a customer service administrator and eventually a CEO and a CFO and even an employee supervisor. Like, I didn't think that. What I thought is, I want to make money taking pictures. Like, what a dream job. I can use my camera to earn a living. Like, that is so cool. That's why I got into this business. And I'm guessing that's probably why you got into this business too. And so after I realized that there was all of these other things I had to do, I had to gain the experience and knowledge to do them well. Knowledge, mindset. Leading is both of these. You need to have the confidence, the mindset, that not only are you able to connect with your clients, not only are you able to produce beautiful images, but that you also have the ability to run a successful business. There is so much more to what it is you have to offer that is going to satisfy your clients' expectations, even exceed your clients' expectations, that goes way beyond their photos. So this confidence that you're going to be able to lead them through your marketing, lead them through a sales conversation, lead them, and we'll get back to that one in just a second, lead them on the day of your time together, your shoot, to get it what it is they need. Maybe they don't even know what it is they need or know how to ask for it, but that you know how to lead them to get there, and then lead them through receiving their images and the experience after their images, that they need to have the sense that you are confident to do those things. And your confidence, your mindset is going to be both a matter of you believing in yourselves and also having the knowledge to do those things well. To, in your marketing, start leading your clients to wanting the service that you have to offer. The second important step of any successful business is to know how to sell. This is where your leadership is imperative. When I first started this business and I was on the phone or got an email inquiry from a client, I was constantly trying to guess or like interpret what it was that they wanted or how much they could afford, so that I could win them as a client. And never in my early conversations with clients was I actually leading them to a sale. And so over the last decade, what has been the thing that has had me succeed is knowing how to create an irresistible experience for my clients, and then know how to lead them through my marketing and sales to say yes to that experience. Have you got that? Trust me, most of the clients who come to you, the first question out of their mouths is, what does it cost? Not because that's at the top of their mind, but because they don't know what else to ask. And so in that conversation, it's imperative for you to learn how to lead them. Your leading them in that conversation is not only going to get them to say yes to that sale, it's also the thing that is going to have them feel trust in you on the day of the shoot to lead them through the experience of the day and get them the results they want. So have you got that? The first thing you need to do, create existable packages to learn how to lead your clients. I am so excited for number 3, because number 3 may be my second, not even my second favorite word, but my favorite word in addition to the word freedom. I love that word, freedom. Everything in my life is about freedom and this next thing. So I want you to get your pens ready, because you're about to get number 3, baby. Okay, if you've been following me for a while, you are not going to necessarily be surprised that something like this, love, would be one of the words. I talk about love all the time, as much as I talk about freedom. And the reason I talk about it so often is because I have this vision of a world where we are all have the freedom to love. It's not what you think. When I talk about the freedom to love, what I mean is the ability to remove judgments, perceptions, and stories from the person that's in front of us, so we can genuinely be present with that person and serve them. This is a game changer, not only for your business and for your clients, but also for your life. If you can develop the kind of personal practice that will allow you to start recognizing the fact that you have judgments and that you make up stories about the experience you're having that may or may not be true, I can tell you that you will succeed at whatever you put your mind to. And in particular, when it comes to photography and your photography business, this is such an important piece. Your clients want to feel like they are seen, understood, loved, and appreciated by you. There's a couple of ways that I see this showing up, or the absence. I'm going to talk about the absence of this showing up. One is I'm in a few different photography groups and on Facebook. I love Facebook groups. Actually, that's a great moment for me to tell you that below here is a link actually to join my closed Facebook group. It's a place where I work with, it's a place where for photographers who I've privately mentored, a place for photographers who have done my masterclass, and a place for people who've done like a day-long intensive with me, as well as folks like you, photographers out there who want to grow their business. It's a place where I show videos and I also answer Q&A. So it's a super fun group. I love it. It's totally supportive. After this video, click that link below and please join us. And when you do, be sure to introduce yourself, say hi. I love that, and I'll say hi back to you. But going back to where that piece started, I'm in a few different photography groups, and one thing I notice is that sometimes this thing comes up in these groups where a photographer will be, it's like they're complaining or frustrated with a client because they've asked for some specific thing that is either reasonable or unreasonable, but it's usually some version of like, oh, I charged this, I quoted this client this much, this is what they booked me for, and then I get an email saying they want X, Y, and Z, and I don't know if you've ever seen these, but it's like, or even ever written one yourself, and I've been there. I've been at a point in the past, I remember a time in my life where I wanted to practice yoga every day, and a client would send me an email asking for something, and I would feel frustrated. Or this would happen sometimes, like a client would book something and they had some idea about what it was they were going to get, and I wasn't totally clear about what they were going to get. So then when they'd ask for that thing, after they had already booked me, I'd feel like, oh my God, now they're asking for more, and I gave them such a good price. And you've probably seen these posts if you've been in those Facebook groups. Here's the thing. Most of our clients, if they are asking for something after they've booked with us, it's for one of two reasons. It's one, that it's a reasonable request and they just didn't know to ask for it before, or two, it's just not a reasonable request, but it's not necessarily that it's something they want, they just don't know what exactly they need. And so this idea of love starts there. It starts with your ability to read and interpret what your clients are saying to you as, listen, I have hired you. This is what the client's saying. I have booked you. I have confidence in your ability to give me what I want. And here's something I think I need. You need to be able to read that email that way, as a collaboration. And underneath love, we can write actually a couple of things. The first is what I said a few minutes ago. A, removing your judgments and perceptions. And B, learning how to collaborate. Okay, I'm kind of going all over the place with this one, but I just feel so excited about this. So removing your judgments and perceptions, seeing the person in front of you, understanding their needs, and learning how to collaborate with them. Enjoy. You've got a client. They're paying you to do work you love. This is a joyful collaboration. And so working with them to together have a shared vision for what it is you're going to create, and just the excitement about that, the shared vision. The other piece about this removing your judgments and perceptions is invaluable on the day of your shoot. I have worked with so many amazing clients over the years, and I gotta tell you, some of the clients I've worked with, it's the rare exception, but there's been an occasion where a client I've worked with, I felt like kind of had some critical judgment about them. Like I interpreted them in some way that made them like wrong or like not an ideal client. And what I've discovered over the years is that we all express our nervousness or uncertainty or excitement or fear in such different ways. And so often those judgments I was having about my client, maybe even like the judgment or the story that somehow they didn't trust me, was because they were nervous and they felt uncertain and they wanted to have great results and they wanted to have this experience that I described for them. And sometimes that came out as them being either defensive or wanting to be controlling or in charge or sending me a bunch of emails, reminding me what they wanted or outlining what they wanted. It was really easy for me before to interpret that as some kind of judgment about my ability, like somehow they didn't trust me. Now I understand that when a client books me, their trust is implicit. They are not going to send me a deposit. They are not going to invest money and time with me if they don't already trust me. And so I can just assume that those clients trust me. They trust my ability as a photographer and my ability as a businesswoman. And then from that space, I can interpret everything that they send to me as like token and wish and step and necessity to them getting exactly what it is they want. So my personal practice is part of what makes my clients come back to me again and again. It's part of the irresistible experience I offer my clients. And it's the way I want us all to be in this world, actually. I want us all to be able to see each other clearly. I want us all to be able to interpret our actions, each other's actions as us doing our absolute best. I want us to interpret what it is that our clients say to us as some version of, I'm so excited and I really can't wait for this to be successful. I really want this to be successful. It's so important to me that you feel this. I'm going to go back to the photographers who I mentor. I feel so grateful to them. They're such incredible photographers. They're such incredible people. And what I see consistently with them is their ability to really see the person in front of them and take beautiful photos of that person. Oh God, I've got another segue. Sorry, Lowe's, but I just got to say this. It's like another thing I notice is a lot of clients come to me because they've worked with a photographer who isn't able to do this, who isn't able to take away their own version of what they believe that person should look like or how they should be interpreted. Of course, we all have our own creative vision, and it's important that we collaborate with our client and include our version of how we want them to be seen. But what I mean by this is sometimes I'll have clients who feel like their photographer is so distracted by their own experience they can't genuinely see them. Maybe they're feeling nervous, or maybe they have this idea that you should look a particularly beautiful, glamorous way, and they aren't really hearing who it is that you are in the world. I also get this from a lot of clients. Like, I ended up with a bunch of beautiful headshots, and it doesn't even really look like me. They didn't capture my essence. That's another one. And so going back to those photographers who I mentor, one of the things I see them do, which I feel so lucky that they're in the world doing this, is that they're able to create these beautiful images of these women and men that capture their essence. And the way they're able to do that is by removing their perceptions, their judgments, just seeing that person in front of them, appreciating who they are in the world, appreciating that they, as photographers, get to contribute to this person's well-being, success, happiness, joy, growth. I feel so grateful that I get to do that for so many people. That I get to just see them. I not only get to see them like that and have them feel seen in that way, which I don't know if you've ever felt seen by someone who just genuinely loves and adores you and appreciates you and sees you as someone who's inspiring and worthy of admiration. But when I'm in the presence of someone who sees me that way, I feel that way and I show up that way. And as photographers, for us to get to have our clients feel that way and then get to take photos of them in that state, I mean, what more do they need? What more do we need? What more does the world need? So I'm about to wrap up. But before I do, I feel important to repeat those 3 things that I know all the best clients are wanting. They want you to create an irresistible experience. They want you to have the knowledge and the mindset to lead them. And they want to feel loved by you. Thank you for watching. I adore you. I'm so excited for what life has to bring you. I am so curious about how our journey may develop. And with all of that, I just want to send you all of my wishes for your unstoppable success. Here is to us all having everything we want and more. Oh, hey, wait, one more thing. I said this, but I didn't know if it was clear. I have this Facebook group I want you to join. And it's a group where I share videos and I do Q&A, and I would love to see you in there. So you'll find a link below, and please join the group, say hi. I can't wait to meet you.